Yeah, I feel like it just 1 minute.
Sure. Mm. I mean, it's just I think Pirate Warrior was brought in the context of specific lineups. So I think I'm not sure if that says as much about Pirate Warrior's standing in the overall meta so much as say what the individual players were thinking going into their matches. I know me and Corbett both brought Pirate Warrior, and it seems like both of us had the same idea: three aggro decks with Lotheb plus Secret Mage just to potentially contest other aggro and obliterate combo decks' hopes and dreams.
I mean,
Yeah, actually, every time Pirate Warrior was brought this week, it was brought with a four aggro lineup. So pretty interesting that players decide to polarize their lineups full aggro like this with Pirate Warrior.
yeah, like Power Warrior is just a solid overall deck. Ship's Cannon just is good. Like Power Warrior doesn't look like it, but then it can play a Ship's Cannon, play Pirates, and suddenly you're at half life on turn 3 because of Brigands and Patches. Like it's also pro. What? Okay. But yeah, like with the Nitro boost and Cutting Class, the deck finally has some refill outside of what was it, Ankar?
Mhm.
And Nitro Boost is actually extremely good with the list. Like you put it on a 1/3 and it's suddenly eight representing 8 damage. Then you with each upgrade it's 3 more.
Mhm.
Like it's finally something it's finally a really good weapon buff that Pirate Warrior has through a spell. You just only have upgrade. Like it's kind of a unique effect in Warrior. So it's basically shooting the class through the roof at the moment, or the archetype through the roof. Like
Well, yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
there's been some variation within the draw packages of the Pirate Warrior archetype, like we've seen the Voracious Readers in the past. Um, but with the Nitro Boost Poison, in combination with the Sword Eater especially, it makes those cutting classes 0 mana. So
like
it's kind of the cutting class package is much more popular because of the Nitro Boost Poison.
Power Warrior's weakness was always a refill. Like as soon as you clear the board once, they're just drawing a single card. Hopefully their weapon gets there. But with cutting class, they're drawing 2 more cards for one, and that's something I guess with Reader it had that too, but that's something that it's always wanted. Like Ankar was so strong because of the you can just upgrade instantly and draw your entire deck, which made it probably un unnerfed Corsair's Cash unnerfed Ankar was probably the strongest Power Warrior's ever been because of that. And with Blizzard's taking a stance on having more card draw for all the classes, like we could see more card draw on Pirate Warrior, which will just keep making it better. But yeah, the core is just so strong because of Cannon and Skybarge or Warbarge. No, Skybarge.
Skybarge. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Yep. Last week, my lineup included both Milrogue and Quest Mage. I didn't get to play, but I feel like with the level of greed that I and other players had brought last week, people are just trying to say no to that with multiple all aggro lineups.
I mean, if you want to really kill greed, Milrogue's how you do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a comment. I just feel like overall we've seen the control archetypes that were so popular in last week, a little bit less popular this week. Odd Warrior especially declining to only 3 brings this week. And both Reno Priest and Reno Warlock decreasing in popularity just slightly. So
Mhm. Yep. Hmm. Sunday's matchup is set to be on stream tomorrow evening. Yep. Mm. Yep. But I think since there are since there are only 5 to 10 lineups, we could just go through all of them. We have the time to go through all the matches that haven't been played. Yep. Sure. Siege against Siege's Reno Shaman, Reno Priest, Reno Warlock, and Secret Mage. Mhm. I mean,
I think
honest,
that Milrogue's getting the hammer.
yeah. The Mali Shaman doesn't even have Dirty Rat, if I'm reading this correct. Or the Reno Shaman on Siege's side doesn't even have Dirty Rat. So honestly, I think Absolute is just has his work cut out for him. He just has to draw Psych Melon or draw the good cards, and then should win. Mhm. Never mind. Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that was a real interesting ban because looking at these deck lists, I thought the Malagos Druid would probably be the toughest to get through of all these decks, but
Yeah,
interestingly, it got the ban. So
right. Quest Mage isn't vulnerable to really any disruption outside of Loatheb chaining. Mill Rogue just does Mill Rogue things, and
Well,
Darkglare Warlock can scam just about anything. Reno Shaman in particular has very few ways to deal with such large boards.
all right. So the
yeah,
one
it's going to
way.
be up to whether or not these Reno decks can get a win. Probably not over the Quest Mage, but more over the Mill Rogue and the Dark Lair Warlock. And Reno does not have the best tools to do that. So
Well, Priest doesn't run a Lucia, so that's like very bad
Yeah,
for
mhm.
him. Like,
that's very bad to Quest Mage. Agreed.
let's see. Um, yeah.
Next, we have Hazer versus Scritch.
With Cthulhu.
Mhm. The synergy with Book of Specters is also off the charts. I, I, I'm convinced that one of the Cthulhu pieces is going to be milled during Hazer's game. Mhm. Again, the Reno Priest doesn't run a Lucia, which I think the Mali Druid and Reno Quest Mage like a lot. But I think really what it looks like is Hazer locked into the Odd Warrior and potentially Jade Druid and just is hard targeting them. Or is I just don't think any of his decks have a very easy way to lose to Warrior and Druid.
Yeah, the J Druid and the Odd Warrior specifically targeting the aggro decks, but without any aggro decks, it's going to be tough to squeeze out a win with these two. So
Mhm.
All right, I'm looking at the deck list now,
Yeah.
and the Odd Warrior. Okay, it runs bulk work, so it does have a very slim chance against Malagos Druid.
Mhm.
However,
Yep.
it's very
Right.
if you does it run taunts? Yeah, it runs a Death Lord. So if he sticks a bulwark behind a Death Lord, it becomes very awkward for the
Mhm.
Malagos Druid because they're
Right.
gonna have to. They can't hero power it down, so they're gonna have to use burn.
Right.
But that doesn't beat full combo still
Oh,
because he just
Malagos.
UIs twice,
Right.
and
Malagos Druid. Sorry.
does instead of doing 100 damage or having a 200 damage turn, he only has like a 100 damage turn.
Darn.
Yeah, it's a rough life for Malagos Druid.
Hazer should have teched in Plate Breaker.
Let's see here. I think
yeah, but that's
that's
only that's a very remote circumstance for the Warrior because it doesn't have any way to tutor out those two cards. So
yeah, it exists. There is
I
hope.
mean, hard mulligan is the closest Rich is going to get. Finally, we have Sun versus Blue Sombrero. Clown Druid with a Jade item. Mhm. Mhm.
These are going to be some long games.
I mean, again, we see Sunday hard targeting the Odd Warrior Jade Druid, correctly getting the read. Sunday's Sunday's a cultist. He's used to it. Oh no, we have to stream that.
I mean,
An hour of our lives that we are never getting back.
are we just gonna glance over the Witch's Cauldron and the Odd Paladin?
Yeah, I was going to say that's an interesting. He has the Void Ripper too.
He should have done what Bat did and took out the Divine Favor for Elysium. Just to hard target the Odd Warrior.
The Elysian Sunday's running Dead Man's Hand, not Odd Warrior. Sunday still goes infinite.
I mean, with the Paladin, you can put in Elysiana just to beat the Odd Warriors. I've
But
seen it before.
Right, it does beat Odd Warrior, though. I mean, in Sunday's lineup, I don't think it really helps too much.
It would be an interesting tech for that one matchup, though.
Oh, agreed.
I mean, Odd Warrior has a really Thraxian. Like their Reckless Fury stopped doing things. This is like 1/1s have Divine Shield. Yes.
I think I am.
I think I am as well. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, it'll be a real treat. I mean, Clown Druid versus Jade Druid or Odd Warrior. I mean, these are going to be 25, 35 turn games. So
so you're saying it has a guaranteed 33% win rate. I can hear
yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
Yep.
Oh.
Me
All
and
right,
Corp.
so he was saying that we're back on all aggro lineup into MTG Squirrels. Let's see here. Secret Mage.
Yeah, MTG.
Q block.
Cube.
Yep. Q block, Reno Priest, and Malagos Druid.
Oh, Malagos Druid's super sad right now.
Right.
Can you hear me now?
We do. Right.
Yes.
If we do see Loatheb in all three of Corbet's non-secret mage aggro decks, we can tell Corbett knew what was coming and teched to prepare. Yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
idea.
he's not running ice. Yeah, this is a full anti-combo of Secret Mage. There's no ice block. It's just Netherwinds.
Yeah, the
explosive
goal
runes and-
was to hit a single deck and go nuts. Anti-combo was the move.
Mm-hmm.
So It'll be very exciting on stream. Should go over quickly, unlike Sunday versus Blueston Borough. So if you have to tune into one match and don't have time, tune into that one.
Or just watch the VOD at two times speed and skip maybe 5 minutes at a time. You'll catch enough of the Sunday versus Blue Sombrero that way.
Yeah, it's fine. So, and then we have Neji versus Slate.
Mm-hmm.
Is also late. This one was a bit awkward to schedule because Neji is doing very well in Masters Tour. He finished. Last I checked, he was 5-0.
I think I heard 5-1 now.
5-1. Okay.
So you're saying he's about Masters Tour over THL?
It is very possible that we will soon have a grandmaster on our team, is what I'm saying. So we won't be the only ones.
Well, yeah, good luck to him in the Masters Tour. Looking at his match this week, he brought the Raza Priest, the Odd Rogue, the Odd Paladin, and the Reno Warlock against Slate's 4 aggros here, or 3 aggros, with the Odd Rogue, the Dark Lair Warlock, and the Secret Mage, and also bring in the Big Priest. So,
Yeah, so the ban is a little weird here, given the situation for Neji. I won't give a little bit too much. I know Slate has his ban in, but we're gonna keep things on the down low for now. Just keep people on their toes. We'll figure it out tomorrow. And as long as he or Corbett win, then F2 will be through. And that'll be the 2 finals appearances in 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So history likes to repeat itself. So with that said,
I mean, on the note of history repeating itself, we do see F2L Viridian going against a Noyo team the previous season's finals match.
That's right. Yeah.
Or no matter what happens, only one finalist is going through.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because all but one player here was in the semifinals last season as well. Corbett was with Hattleship, who lost to an O team in the semis, and Bone Masher has replaced Mike V, who had to take the rest of the season off, but he is captaining. So it's very similar teams overall. 4 of the 5 players on each team were in the finals last season against each other. So small rivalries.
And now we have the newcomers on the other side.
Yes. So with that, I think that covers everything we have to preview, which means we can get to the match.
I'll message Slag right now.
Yeah. Jay, I think it's time that you step away for a bit.
Okay, yeah.
So that we can cover the decks. I don't want us to be giving out any of your thoughts on stream, as great as the insight would be. But keep this as fair as possible.
If all goes well, we'll be talking about it afterwards.
For sure. So, with that said, we have an aggro mirror for you guys. Let's take a look at those decks we were discussing before. Oh, wait, did this not?
I'm trying to get out. 1 second.
Yeah, take your time. Seems that...
Oh, I think I have Discord open on 2 tabs. That's why. Bye for now.
Okay. Seems like this hasn't saved, so I'll be redoing some of this real quick.
So looking at the matchups for both of these players here, as you said, it's full aggro for both players. They've both brought the Odd Paladin, the Dark Lair Warlock, and the Secret Mage, with 6J also bringing the Pirate Warrior, and Slod bringing the Odd Rogue. Yes, sorry. So I think it's pretty 50-50 here for most of these matchups. I don't think there's any large advantages from the matchup spread here.
From the spread, no, but the text that I think it's going to be the text that decide this. All right, so Oddrogue's bringing 2 Glacial Shard list, which is very good in the aggro. let's. Pretty sure the Pirate Warrior is just the stock Pirate Warrior list.
Yeah, but it runs Lotheb too. I don't think that's stock.
Okay. Let me
Uh,
switch.
we should also talk about bans that was announced. So Jay's Paladin was banned, and Slad's Warlock was banned.
Yes.
Interesting. I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, we were actually expecting the Warrior ban, or I was too, and I think Jay was as well, given the lineup. So
Yeah.
a Paladin ban is very unusual. We weren't sure if it
Yeah,
was
he
going to
must be
be.
trying to sneak a win with the secret mage over that. The Pirate Warrior, that probably has the best matchup of his 3 decks.
I believe it's best into Dark Glare,
Yeah.
Mm,
according to stats. The Pirate Warrior is actually slightly favored into the Mage, and then there's the Mirror. So like either you're going for the Glare or the Mirror, not the Warrior.
interesting.
Like that was. Well, so I don't know what you lead with as a. Well, you definitely lead with Darkler as Caesar Cheese. Or I mean, as a slot. And I guess that means Warrior for JJJ. Like,
Yeah,
wait,
it's
no. Usually, yeah. I'm not. I don't know actually. Like,
it's very
I was not
difficult.
expecting a Paladin ban.
Yeah, the Paladin ban really throws you off. It's not at all what you would normally expect with this. So it is a bit odd, but Slot must have a plan. And he's certainly not out of this. It being mostly an aggro mirror, that means that it can really go either way just with a small play. One small,
Yeah,
one
I'm trying
drop.
to look at the differences between the Odd Paladin list here between 6J and Slod. I think the only difference is that Slod runs 2, or that 6J runs 2 of the Blessing of Authorities, which I don't see in Slod's list. I think he runs 2 more of the secrets. So that
Blessing
sacrifices a
Authority.
little bit against Dark Glare, I think.
They run Barrel.
I'm not sure.
He does.
Slod
Yes.
runs,
Slot runs
or
bear off.
6J runs Bear
Or
off.
6J, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, 6J. He's going with 2 secrets over 4. As
Okay,
one.
so
He has 1
4
creeper over 2.
secrets.
Mm-hmm.
4 secrets is worse into the aggro mirror.
Yeah.
Because the never surrender. Actually, you
The
need to be
thing,
ahead
though.
on board for. You need to be ahead on board for never surrenders.
Yeah, the thing
Like,
is,
if
like,
they turn to.
the mirror is going to come
This is-
down to whoever can get on board first, right? And hold the board.
Mhm. They both run
Yeah,
2
well, we won't
Runesticks,
see
right?
the mirror because one of the Paladin is banned, right?
Yeah, Jay's Paladin is banned, so we won't see that, I guess. So, but with Paladin in the aggro mirror, it's going to come down to the same thing regardless. Paladin is going to have to get on the board before and stick on the board before any of the other decks. So against Warlock, the Warlock can't have Broomstick. Against Mage, they can't have Arcanology or
Black Mage.
Flak Mage. Yes, my mistake. They can't have Flak Mage, and the Never Surrender, I guess, helps there. Not a ton, but it helps. Against Warrior, you need to get past the cannons, so it'll be a challenge. The Quarter Creeper in particular helps with that, and so does Never Surrender. But Oh My Yogg and some of the other cards are a bit dead in those matchups, especially the single Divine Favor. It's not going to see much use. And not having Barov means the Glare matchup will be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I found in my experience the Barov game plan against Dark Glare is sometimes effective, sometimes not, because if the Dark Glare player knows that you're running Barov, they might stack their giants in an order where it makes it tough to clear with a single Barov. So Slot eliminating the Lord Barov from his lineup. I actually think the best strategy for Odd Paladin against Dark Glare is just to flood the board as much as possible and then Quartermaster turn 5, and then hopefully there you have a one-turn burst to do enough and close the game out.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, though, because Jay has both Broom and Sun Fury. So you need to stick a
True.
board, and you need to get past taunts, or potential taunts. It'll be very difficult for the Paladin. So
Yeah, it's determinant on whether or not they could get on the board early enough, and the dark player doesn't have enough tools to clear those early boards. So
all right, so both players are ready. You guys ready for the match?
yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Just giving them go ahead.
Can't wait for the patches, but
Oh no, not the
seeing
patches
a lot of
buff.
that.
So we will have Slot on the bottom and 6J on the top. It looks like they're getting in now.
I see the eye icon.
So coming up now.
All right, so looks like it's Odd Rogue versus Pirate Warrior. Pirate Warrior's going first.
Pirate Warrior prefers to be on the coin, right?
Oh yeah,
If you have a cannon, like a cannon, you really want the initiative with Nizal's first mate. Oh, that's a good opening hand. Well, there's no cannon, so 6J is a bit sad, but the Nizal's first mate is the best thing you can play on one without cannon, especially if you have a brigand follow up.
Oh no, are we gonna get a patches bug already?
Oh, that.
looks like it.
So tour guide into South Sea Deckhand is probably what, or tour guide into Buccaneer. The Buccaneer isn't actually all that valuable right now because there's nothing with 3 health.
Let's just leave and reset this.
Yeah, and
Looks like
saving the or using the South Sea Deckhand would allow him to trade effectively.
Well, he
He
opts
opts for the Buccaneer. Yeah.
mainly because cannon on 2.
Yeah, and 6J picking up that ship's cannon. That's a very strong turn 2 play here. Usually the Pirate Warrior whiffs on turn 2. So glad that he could fill out the curve here. He actually opts to armor up though.
I mean, cannon into a 3 attack weapon is really bad because you get no value off of it.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's-
that's right. Forgot it was buffed.
Alright, now that I'm in the game again after all that patches. It's like he froze the face to protect his 2-1. That's actually very smart. But here comes the cannon. See where the shot lands. Alright.
I might
was
have gone
really
for the
good.
deckhand there, but just so I could have traded into the other minion, but
Alright, now we're reaching the point of the game where 6J really wants to cast this cutting class. Like they're effectively in top deck mode. Feels so bad. That is the most I've ever seen a cutting class.
yeah, it's tough without the Sword Eater, the Nitro Boost Poison, the buffs to get that cutting class down to a efficient mana use.
Yeah, but you had to play that there. Your other 2 plays, your 4-drop just gets evenly traded into a 1-drop, and your South Sea Deckhand dies to dagger. And you're both at high enough life totals that you don't want to be trading into minions with your weapon. But you can train your with minions at this point. You feel really good about it. Alright, so what's going through 6J's head now is that the opponent probably doesn't have a 3-drop. And he doesn't have any form of card draw because it definitely would have played it there. So he's thinking probably Lotheb or Leroy or some sort of like weapon buff, probably in hand for Vlad.
If I were 6J here, I would swing the weapon and then upgrade, but Doing so,
No,
it makes it inefficient for the Dread Corsair here, so I'm not sure.
it's a tough decision because you're sacrificing tempo for value, right? Like, do you think
Yeah,
this
pretty
game's gonna be
much.
decided in the next 4 turns or in the next 2 turns? That's what JJ6J's thinking, probably. Like,
Yeah, I guess he's just
that,
valuing the Dread Corsair much more that turn, so.
oh, like, this is actually very scary for 6J because that's all burst in Slot's hand.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, just 12 damage in hand for 7 mana on 1 turn.
so got 2 lines here. Swing with weapon, plays Ankar. Hold weapon, plays Skybarge. So he opts to play the Ankar. Oh, Thug's a huge pickup.
Yeah, just getting that mid-range option out there and being able to start buffing that up, take control of the board again.
Alright, so let's count burst damage. Slot has 14 in hand, or 12 in hand,
12 in
2
hand.
plus
Yeah.
weapon. I think that 6J is going to be very scared at this point, and he's going to start hero powering. Yeah, there it is. There's the hero power. The other player should stick with a 3-4, get a shot in to close the game out in 2 turns.
Hmm.
This
And
is,
Slot just picking up more off the top burst.
you just go all in here, I think. Like, you Leroy, Nitro Boost, Deadly Poison, or
You're
double
talking about
Deadly
just a
here.
2-turn setup with double deadly poison, I guess.
Like, you give your opponent 2-1 Leroy, but they're just trading into Leroy because don't want to take the 8. Or Leroy eats a cannon shot.
Hmm.
And this, you have to use all your mana here. I think. Oh, looks like he opts to just use the 2 Deadly Poison.
Yeah, because I think over 2 turns, whether you buff the minion or the Leroy the next turn, I think it's 4 damage either way combined. So
Well, I'm thinking like you use Nitro Boost and Leroy here just because it's 6 mana as opposed to 1. Because you're definitely not redaggering after this. And since you're not redaggering, you might as well just spend the. Oh, he trades in the sky.
that's a tough trade to take because 6J is just gonna have so much fuel the next turn to refill the board.
Alright, so far it's prevented 4 damage. So he would have been at 5. But I don't know how he gets there because he needs Nitro Boost off the top practically.
Well, Prize Plunder at least allows him to clear off the 5/3 if he so chooses with the Nitro Boost poison.
This is super
Yeah,
rough.
even
If
then,
he
I
used
don't
a
see how
Nitro
he
Boost
gets
Prize
there. The
Plunder
weapon
here.
swing last turn would have put him in a much better position to close out the game, but
Let's see here. 6J would have definitely hero powered after that. So he would be at 16. Alright. I think it's close, but yeah, it's just unfortunate. He's drew dead in the early turns. Jay hit his 2 cutting class.
yeah, and the Leroy coming down, closing out the game for 6J. Slot's Rogue just didn't have the tools at the end to close it out. With the weapon swing into the Sky Barge, the Pirate Warrior was just too quick. So, game 1 going to 6J.
I still think he should have hit face that last turn. Put the opponent down to what was it? 14? Have a 6 attack weapon and then have 10 burst in hand, making you have 18 total. And both Dread Corsairs were used, so he had no taunt, so I had to kill him that turn.
Yeah, I think he was still 2 or 3 damage off, even if he did, but it would have put him in a much better position, and the game would have been much closer. So Slod running it back with the Rogue again against 6J's Secret Mage this time.
Okay, so you got a Prize Plunder Spire Mistress opening hand, which is very good. And 6J just has nothing.
Yeah, this is garbage by the Mage here. No minions. He has the burst from the Fireball. The Ice Block is the very end game combo saver, I guess, for a turn, but he's looking for all the minion and the Flak Mage, and he doesn't have any of those, so.
It's kind of. Do you even use the Cabal Lackey here? Like, it just dies for no reason. Oh, that Netherwind portal is actually huge. If Slod uses a spell now, he actually gets something on board.
Yeah, Slod might recognize that the Netherwind portal's out there, so we might pick a more conservative turn to account for that. 6J picks up the Archaeologist. With the Cabal Lackey, that could turn into a powerful turn.
I feel like he wants to ping Lackey Ice Block because if you put up Counterspell, then it doesn't activate the Netherwind, even though you played a spell. So it's kind of awkward that you're killing your tempo. So I think it's gonna be Ice down here. Yeah, there's Ice Block. So this is kind of an awkward turn for Slod because he really wanted to play Volpera, but he's probably just gonna opt to oh, he's gonna lead with coin.
Yeah, so coin to test for either the counterspell or the Netherwind. The portal churns out a Draenei
Oh, that's an easy
Totem
clear
Carver.
in. He needed something a bit more beefy. See, if this was the new game, that would be a 4-5, and this would be a great situation. But since it's core set hasn't been come out yet, it just dies to dagger.
Yeah, Slot playing that turn very carefully to play around all the possible secrets that 6J could have put out there.
Yeah, the Posh Plunder before Volpera was playing around explosive runes. You want the 3/3 into 2 life at this point is negligible. Like being at 22 against 6J's hand, or against Secret Mage in general, where you just keep hitting the face to prevent the rigged fair game from going off. It's so good. Well, that hench clan is huge. I think you might want to trade the Prize Plunderer first into the what was it, the Mad Scientist to get the explosive runes out of the way. Take 5, but you play around. Did Volpera not attack?
For me, Volpera did not attack it. No.
Oh, package.
Oh, of course.
So many options.
Okay, so getting back into the game here.
I was wondering why nothing was making sense. Oh, it looks like 6J found a Black Mage off the top and cleared.
Yeah, just a single Flak Mage and the counterspell. And it looks like the Mad Scientist pulled a rigged fair game so far, so.
Alright, so. Okay. He's definitely trading the Volpera, even though it feels terrible.
I'm not sure if you want to trade the Volpera there, because at this point you're trying to make sure you have a 2-turn lethal.
Well, if he doesn't do that, he pings and then trades up to the Volpera, so it's a full clear anyway. This way you keep 1/3/3.
Yeah, true, true.
I think you lead with Deadly Poison here for counterspell. Because he knows the opposing list, right?
Yeah, so he knows there's at least one more counter spell. Couple explosive runes possibly in there. So
I mean, order of
Leroy doesn't seem
elimination
like the safest option.
order of elimination dictates that it's rigged fair game ice block because he just tested with the Volpera for explosive runes, so it's
Oh,
definitely
okay.
counter spell. It's not another one because he only plays one of that, and the only other secrets left are rigged fair game and counter spell and ice block.
Gotcha. So he goes for the Leroy play, sets 6J to 5.
We have many secrets.
Actually, with ice block, this actually could be. I don't. I definitely want to.
Yeah, knowing that the ice block up, Slot is definitely committing to this race here. Um,
Well, okay, he fails. It's bailed out a bit. But yeah, he definitely should play Deadly here just for it to get counterspelled so he can secret passage in peace. Or
mhm.
actually, now that I think about it, the Deadly is more important than the secret passage because his weapons go to 4 attack. He hits his opponents at 1 and ice blocks prone. So you set up lethal. Your opponent has 9 on board with 1 in hand. He's never getting there unless he top decks the fireball.
Mm. Yeah,
But he
now I
gets the
think this
lethal card.
guarantees, right, with the freezing
Yeah.
of the 4/4.
Yeah, there's no way he's getting through now. Yeah, there's this.
I'm late. Well,
Alright, he commits honorable Sudoku by pinging himself in the face.
Yeah, tough game for 6J there. With the early, very tough draws, and then after that, just not being able to stabilize very well with anything on the board that lasts for more than a turn. So far, 1-1 in the series, going to game 3 here.
So, the Dark Lair hasn't been shown yet, which I think I would have played Dark Lair game 1, but. Alright, here it is. Dark Lair vs. Secret. And that's a rigged fair game in the opener, but there's no Cabal Lackey, so he's probably going to keep Arcanologist and no, just Arcanologist rigged fair game. And 6J just got Dark Lair plus Cobalt Library.
Yeah, so 6J's already got some of the juice here that you need to beat Secret Mage.
I think he just. Alright, so he has 2 options: coin out Arcanologist, coin out Mad Scientist, or pass. I don't think he's passing here because there's nothing really to coin into on 3. And so he plays the Arcanologist and picks up a explosive. Alright, so I think the game plan for 6J is to tap on 3, then play Tour Guide, and then try to go off on 4. And I
Yeah, that
think
looks right
that
here.
Slod is going to play either probably a rigged fair game on turn 3 if he clears. He does clear. So explosive runes doesn't actually do much against Dark Lair if the Dark Lair is above 10 life. You really need to use explosive runes to push the last bits. So I really think rigged fair game is going to go down here. Actually, if you pick up the second explosive runes, it's really tempting to play it, just so you can get it out of hand. Pick up a lackey. But I really think it's rigged fair.
Yeah, I think it's rigged fair too, because even if it doesn't trigger, you have the turn 4 Occult Conjure to hopefully contest no giants on a board, but the
Oh,
Penflinger just gets picked up by this explosive runes, and now 6J can combo with or actually he chooses to backfire, combo the next turn. So
Now you wanna. Alright, so as Dark Lair, you really want to stay at around roughly 16 life into your Glare turn if you're playing against an aggro deck. Like, this is, especially if you have combo, like, this is very dangerous for Slod because he has a Broom in hand, he has Moltons, he has Sun Fury. So that means that he doesn't to get his pings in to play his giants.
yeah, and it's tough because if you're an aggro player playing against Dark Lair, you don't want to put them low enough where they could just cheat out all the Molten Giants for 0 and then either
Yeah,
taunt
you
up or
basically
boom
have
your
to do
board
all
away.
the burst from like 10 to 0 in one turn. It's really
Yeah.
hard to deal.
So 6J's got 2 of these Flesh Giants that are pretty cheap here in the Broom. Slot does not have a ton of burst in hand outside of that Cloud Prince, which is not set up with the secret yet. The Mad Scientist could set up for it though. So
I really like this play from 6J. He recognizes that he needs to just go all in with giants and try to push for lethal into over 2 turns. Both explosive runes are down, so there's no secret up. And
yeah, well,
so,
with 3 of these giants, it's either Slot has enough burst here to deal 7 damage, or this is the game. So
alright, did he get ice? He got counterspell. If that was ice block, he could have just played Cloud Prince, gone phase. But now he's facing down 23 power, and he's off by 1.
What to do?
yeah, this looks like 6J might have just squeezed a win here, with a high enough health total to beat the Secret Mage.
I mean, this is why. Sorry about that.
Yeah, there's
This
nothing
is why,
Slot can do here, right?
yeah, this is why Dark Lair's so oppressive. Like, he had nothing on board, and now he has 23 power. And he could have gone in even earlier if it wasn't playing a combo deck. And, like, people who know how to play Dark Lair it just feels so oppressive going into it. Like, I've been playing against Dark Lair for so long now at this point.
Yeah, it's just tough because they have so many different strategies that you could play around 1 or 2 of them, but the other strategies dominate those counter strategies. So it's kind of tough to put Dark Lair in a box and then beat it that way. So
So I'm thinking that 6J is going to play a PO and then play. Yeah. All right, let's see what he hit. Does he hit the Oh, he's gonna leave the okay, so if Cheaty procs Ice Block, it doesn't actually heal. And now JJJ's got a decision to make. I think Dark Lair hit phase. Or actually, this is very hard to see. I'm not sure what he's gonna do here.
well, it looks like 6J is just trying to play so defensively around this. Yeah, I'm not really sure what his game plan here is. I thought he was still trying to pop the block, but
He realized he was dead to Ice Block. If he popped it without healing, he's dead. I mean, dead to Fireball.
oh yeah, gotcha.
So, yeah, Slot got a moment of reprieve. Doesn't draw the Ice Block.
Yeah, with no way to kill the Mad Scientist to even possibly cheat out the Ice Block, game goes to Warlock.
So now it's just the Paladin.
Yeah, the Paladin against the Mage and the um
No, wait, no, it's the Paladin got banned. So it's just the Mage versus Mage.
oh yeah. Okay, so it's a mage mirror here. Both players with a secret mage. Let me check if these are identical lists. It looks like at a glance they are. 6J passing the turn 1. Slod turn 2 picks up the Cabal Lackey, but has no secret to play with. And 6J back over to him, picks up an Ancient Mysteries and decides to hold the counterspell. Slot here with an easy turn 2 Archaeologist. Probably hoping to pick up that rigged fair game to hopefully coin Cabal Lackey rigged fair game. That would probably be his strongest play right now. Picks up a counterspell. So both these players with early counterspell, Slot might opt for it just to possibly deny a rigged fair game, but he opts for the Netherwind portal. Okay. The Netherwind portal pulls a Twilight Drake, probably not the best 4-drop that Slot was hoping to produce with that spell. Easily gets taken out by the Fire Blast ping here.
Sorry about that, I DC'd.
You're good, you're good.
Alright, so you never risk rigged fair game here into counterspell, I don't think. Oh, it hurts.
Yeah, that's brutal by Slot here. Not being able to possibly draw those 3 cards, just denying him so much of that of the draw that 6J now has advantage over. So
It's actually like a massive deal. It's only a big deal if the opponent gets rigged fair game off. Like, there's a lot of sacrificing value for tempo in this matchup. And it looks like Slod's winning on tempo, so he wants to push that advantage. Like, there's no way he plays the valet here. Both counterspells are down, so he can definitely set up a counterspell valet turn next turn. So it feels like
yeah,
a
as
ping.
long as you're winning on board as the mage, you can deny the opponent's rigged fair game. So that's probably his game plan going forward here.
I think that 6J has to play rigged fair game here. He has to play the explosive runes. Like, Ice Block is negative tempo. However, Ice Block, I mean, rigged fair game is basically always active at this point.
Yeah, so he plays both of the secrets this turn.
Also, knowing that both right, both counter spells are down, I think 6J still has rigged, it still has another one portal, right?
I believe so. So
I
yes, he
really
does.
want to play Crystal Runner here, but it's really weak in explosive runes, and that's probably what that Slot's thinking. Okay, just pings. Safe. Also, if you don't have to proc the secret, a lot of the times it's correct not to, because there could be duplicates in hand. Oh, and the Ice Block gets counterspelled. So this is just a race to the face at this point. Like 6J can
Yeah.
almost go all in.
Yeah, a lot of early counter spells by both of these mages. Not a lot of tempo being developed. Triggers the
I mean,
explosive
using
runes
a
with the
good,
Black Mage, so
using a tempo. What is tempo? Just like a 2/3 going to the face every turn. This is the
yeah, I
really
guess for
awkward
Secret
part of the
Mage,
match.
yeah.
This is the really awkward part of the matchup where you're just throwing fireballs into minions, trying to get fair game to go off, while this 2/3 is just denying it over and over and over again. Like, this is like rigged fair game wins it for either side, or it doesn't really win it, but helps guarantee the win. Oh, that
That Occult Conjurer is huge. I think he might just throw down the Cabal Lackey too, but maybe not.
all right. So he has an ice block of his own up. And explosive runes is massive. Because he's just gonna go on a crusade to the face. Like he's gonna attempt peaceful coexistence with the 4/4s, I believe. Like he pushes 11 this turn. He's had opponents at 7, ice block up, explosive runes up. Like 6J cannot play minion at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, he opts to fireball a 4/4. I'm not sure how much longer this game. Oh, he's playing for the long game.
Which
A
is tough when
long
you have no cards and your opponent has 3. So just betting that 6J doesn't have anything here.
like I guess both counterspells are down. If he gets a Sage off the top, he practically wins, but like he doesn't have enough gas. Like Cloud Prince was gonna be lethal. He knows Ice Block's down. He has to
Yeah,
keep
and your
taking face
opponent's
or
at
else he'll
14,
carry.
so it's not like you're in any close position to close out this game.
Like, he would have been at 2 if he would have. Like, now he's in this very awkward spot. Does he take 4 to the face for the rest of the game, or does he? Well, I guess he's in a even worse spot now. Like he can't let Rick Fairgame go off, but he has to, or else he's gonna just die over a couple turns.
Yeah, it's kind of a lose-lose here with whether to
Yeah.
ping the face or the occult conjurer there. The second reach fair game, this swings quite a bit towards 6J's side here.
Like, being in a race situation is usually okay if your opponent's down Ice Block.
I'm late. I'm late.
Yeah, now he's just playing.
Late.
Yeah, there's no way Slot gets there at this point. He's staring down. Well, if he gets if he gets a fireball off the top into or a Cloud Prince off the top into fireball, he gets there. That's the only way.
Yeah, but that would be a very lucky sequence of 2 consecutive draws. He didn't get the first one, so it's pretty much game here for Slot.
There's the Cloud Prince. Off by 1. Oh, that's not a good feeling.
Yeah, no, tough loss for Slot here in the mirror. And 6J takes it 3-1 this week, so a great win by him.
All right.
Interesting that from Slod we did not see any of the Paladin.
So I think 6J will be joining us very soon. Just checking in with him now. Once he joins, we can give him an interview.
Yeah.
Like he knew what his opponent, and he played around it perfectly.
Yeah, I think in that last game, Slod was just really trying to push as much advantage as he could with that mage board and those 2/3, but the draw by 6J with the occult conjurer was just too much on it. Swung the board towards his favor. So
Welcome back.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, good
congrats on the
win.
win.
Yeah, thanks. It was honestly like I think for the secret mage games, like for Darkler, I spent the whole time terrified of Fireball and Ice Block. And for Horror, it was just a top deck war until I was finally able to get that RFG off.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah, when you
Cold
were able
Con
to sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that Cold Conjure top deck was great for you. It forced like a fireball into them. Like,
Mm.
like I probably would have just gone face at that point. Just said, you know what? I'm not winning on board anymore. I'm just gonna go face with everything and hope for the best.
I see.
But yeah, like definitely well played the Dark Lair game because like you use explosive runes to your advantage to get down the molten into and flesh giant. Does explosive discount flesh giant? I think it does, right?
It does, yes, and
Yeah.
if you play Dark Glare, it will give you the 1 extra mana. But
Yeah.
then since Tour Guide costs 1 less than Dark Glare, it ended up balancing out equally, and I just wanted to get that moved down a bit more conveniently, especially with the hero power.
Yeah, you used your opponent's own cards to discount your flesh giants. That
Mhm.
was
Yeah, looking at that game one, I thought that was real interesting. It looked like the rogue had just enough, or just basically a handful of burst, um, and he decided to trade into the sky barge rather than push it all face.
I
When you saw that, how'd you feel?
very relieved because that
Yeah.
was 6 damage not going to my head. I think that meant I could just play the minion. I could play my 2 pirates and buff up the Ankar for an extra turn rather than having to armor up because I knew I was going to die if I did not if that 6 damage went face and I hit the armor button.
Mhm.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I noticed you were hitting the armor button earlier in that matchup too. Like I know that feeling of like you're just gonna die at any time because of Nitro Boost being cold blood.
Yeah, and looking at that game three too, your dark lair into his mage, it really came down to the end there and whether or not he had enough in-hand burst to close out the game.
Was
And
the
by the end of your dark lair, you are at 7 health. How much did you calculate that?
I was at 7 health, he had 5 mana. I wasn't going to get lethal that turn.
Mhm.
So I think if, say, a fireball went face, I think my 2 choices were, I think I was honestly hoping for Spellstone off Solarium, so maybe I could have done, I think, Librarian and then hit the Spellstone. Otherwise my play would have been pray that it's RFG and not Ice Block. What secret was it, by the way?
Rigged fair game.
Yeah.
It was rigged.
I had lethal,
Now you don't know that though.
right? I know. I mean, I definitely made the right play in the moment.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I wasn't putting the match on a 50-50.
So, with that said, congrats on your win. We do have another match incoming, and this is actually pro. So this is a standard match with open deck list. Okay, it'll be a playoff match between Myanodon from Popeye's Spicy Chicken Sandwich and Ryzen from Aeon. And as we all know, fuck Aeon. So we have the bands
Sensing
in.
sensing some animosity there.
Oh no, this is like a meme throughout THL, so all is good.
No, that's not very. I think you have deep-seated hatred.
Oh, you caught me. You got me.
It will last. That hatred will last for all eternity. It'll last aeons.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
all of Marty B's family will know about it, and generations to come will remember this hate. Remember
yes, I'm going to hate all of them always. You got me. But we do have the bans though. Myanodon's Mage will be banned, and Ryzen's Warrior will be banned. So before I playoffs have been going on all week. So far, this is the playoff deciding match. Right now, it is 12-9. Myanodon just needs 2 wins, so he can lose 3-2, and Popeyes will be through. Ryzen needs to get 3-1 or 3-0. A 3-2 win is not enough, to be clear. Okay?
Wait, question. So
No
a
pressure.
3-1 win by Ryzen here, wouldn't that make it 13-13?
Correct.
Does the tiebreaker goes to Popeyes in that case?
The tiebreaker goes to Aeon in this case because in playoffs we go by overall match wins too. So Aeon would have won 3 matches because right now the Ridiculous Hat and Donkey have won their matches 3-2. Okay?
Mm.
If Ryzen wins, then that means 3 players from Aeon would have won their match. So even if it's tied, they have the tiebreaker.
Gotcha.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah, so it's
like I said,
basically
no pressure.
yeah, it's the 3-2 or bust here. So
Right. So we will have to see how this goes. I'm going to get the deck lists on screen right now. We
I
have
think with this standard game, I may head out.
yeah, for sure.
It's been
Thanks
fun.
again for coming around, Jay. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, congrats on
again.
the win, man.
So let me just get some of these decks on here. We have Mayan bringing Aggro Rogue, Highlander Mage, which is banned, an ETC Warrior, and a Ramp Paladin. I've posted for you guys to see. As for Risen, we have Enrage Warrior with a Rattle War top end, Highlander Priest, Stealth Rogue as well, and then a Libram Paladin. The Enrage Warrior is banned.
Ralgor scared him off.
yeah, it's actually is it ETC Warrior actually?
On Risen side, it is an
Yes.
ETC Enrage build.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you guys will see in just a second. Forgot to upload this to the doc, so Discord it is.
I'm actually looking at the decks right now. It's it looks pretty even for both sides here. The only difference is the paladin and the or the paladins really. So
I think the Reno Mage versus. I guess it's not Reno Mage.
Well, that's
It's
actually
Highlander
banned.
Mage.
Remember,
'Cause
that
it's
is
the Reno Priest then.
it is a Highlander
Like
Priest. You can call it Reno Mage because it runs Reno the Relicologist and the Amazing Reno. But you can't call it Reno Priest because there is no Reno card.
all right, Ogre Mage. There we go.
Alright. Ogre Priest it is. Or no.
Yeah, Ogre Mage has actually been a sleeper in standard, from what I've been seeing. Like suddenly it just broke out and like a whole bunch of people just realized like, oh, this is amazing. We need to put in every deck.
yeah, it's just so great against paladin especially. I mean, just looking at the deck list of paladin, what card can really deal with the 3/7 that summons a 2/2 taunt every time you cast a spell? It just it's a really niche card that I feel fills this gap that's needed against paladin or some of these spell heavy decks. So
I mean, Weapon Rogue's also super sad, right? Like you're trying to go face with all your burst damage spells, and suddenly 2/2s appear and start trolling you.
yeah, it kind of negates the pen flingers too. So
Yeah, so it should be very interesting to see. Should we tell these players to queue up then? You guys ready?
yeah, let's jump into it.
Alright, just giving them the go ahead and then I'll step back and you can do your thing.
All right.
So once they're in match, I will get going. And we'll have Ryzen on the bottom.
Okay.
Actually, looking
Yeah, I'm
forward to
trying to
this.
see. Are these identical rogueless? I think they are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
it is.
The list has been fairly
Okay.
solved in standard. So alright, we
I
are
remember when people were trying to put 4-drops. The fools they
entering.
were.
All right, jumping into the game here.
I Like
It's
a
gonna
rogue
be
mirror.
Rizen's Rogue. It's a Rogue Mirror, yeah.
I make my own luck, as do I.
And Myanodon's already got that weapon in his opening hand, so good to see that.
I think the weapon is the most important part of the build. That self-sharpening, I've seen that sharp self-sharpening sword deal like absurd amounts of damage.
Yeah, for 3 mana, I mean, just being able to, base, no buffs or anything, deal 10 damage over 4 turns, and then with the buffs, being able to deal that much more over 4 turns, it's just very powerful, very powerful tool, the rogues.
Just
So
5k. Like, and with the stealth pack, like, alright, let me get into this game. I've been having trouble. Alright, so it looks like the stealth mains are staring at each other. So,
yeah, turn 1 stealth by both players. Risen starts off turn 2 with the prep Swindle.
so he's probably thinking, like, do I keep this in stealth? Like, Sage is a very good card that he doesn't have, so he's probably gonna just opt to go face, but if he did, value the Sage, definitely would not have gone face there. So, but Manadon, on the other hand, two great hearts. He's definitely winning in the card draw department here. And his hand's definitely coming together.
Hmm.
Let's see here. 2 Swindles, a Sinister Strike. He's probably going to opt for Sinister Strike Swindle next turn. But until then, Ruzan's hand is looking fairly terrible.
Yeah, not a ton of board development, has a lot of burst, but not enough mana to do anything with it, so
Like, you can Deadly Poison fling your Prize Plunder, get some semblance of board back, but then he strands Cutting Class in his hand, so he's probably thinking he needs to Deadly Poison to get Cutting Class out, which means that he has to delay a turn and use the Eviscerate here on the 3/3. Yeah, that's definitely what he's doing. Let's see if he goes face with the weapon. He does, so his next turn, his plan is Dagger, Deadly, Cutting. So that's a greed, which he kind of is forced to have at this point because he's on cards. Maedon feels like this is a sign of weakness, and he just uses it to play the weapon. The weapon's
yeah,
starting,
interesting.
so let's see if he actually does do the Dagger, Poison, Cutting Class play. Because
I
I feel like
think
that's the only way he's
Cutting
getting
Class
out
would
of
be
this
2,
situation.
right? It's too expensive.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. I guess it's just Dagger Sneaky Delinquent then. Oh, he's... Okay, so next. Pushing 4 now.
Yeah, he kind of leaves it up to Myanodon in this case to push back with a strong enough swing to turn this game around because he's down by 9 in the health game right now. So
Alright, the Nitro boost is huge. I don't think that my... Alright, so if Myanodon swings, he needs to deal 20 damage with 2 charges. So I think this game's gonna last for 3 more turns, or 2 more turns in Myanodon's head, and he needs to get as much damage in now as he possibly can. Because he's at 18. He can definitely... At 18, Reason can definitely set up 2-turn lethal. Like, alright, so since the Swindle was picked up, he doesn't actually have to Cutting Class here. He's probably gonna try to maximize Penflinger.
yeah, if he's trying to set up the 2-turn, you definitely have to draw more cards because with what he has in his hand, it's not enough. So
So you played 2 cards, so that means that Prize Plunderer clears. He's left in a kind of awkward situation. Because he can't play any of those spells without losing a lot of value. Probably needs at this point for the reach.
Yeah, and at this point, my Undawn's just gonna have a huge turn with the deadly poison and the nitro boost poison.
Alright, so he preps Penflinger so he can corrupt the Nitro Boost poison. I like that play. Okay. Okay. And alright, so Mayanodon, I think he smells blood. He's just gonna go all in at this point. Yeah, he's got 3 in hand with Sinister Strike, Deadly Poison. It represents 4 for 2 turns. He needs, he only
Yeah,
has
this looks like
one
setting up for
Penflinger.
for a 2-turn lethal by Myanodon. Looks like he has it by a long shot.
Mhm.
And Arisen just with an empty board, no weapon, no buffs on the weapon. It's tough to think that he could deal enough damage to put Myanodon in check. So
So, what do you do here is Rezon. Like, doesn't have the burst, not by a long shot. He has to probably Secret Passage or Swindle. Or he opts for Secret Passage. I like that. Drawing 4 for 1 is a lot better than drawing 2 for 2. And that is 5 damage. Not quite 15.
yeah, just nowhere close to enough by Risen here.
I feel like this is a bottom right here. Actually, he doesn't know that the opponent has 1 spell with his Penflinger.
Well, just looking at that 8 damage self sharpening sword and what, 6 cards in the rogue's hand, you know that half of their deck is basically pushing damage.
Yeah,
So
this is it's basically lethal every time.
yeah.
What's sharper, your wits or your brains?
Alright. Yeah,
All right,
he's
so
let's go.
yeah, game 1 going to Myanodon's rogue. Um, Interesting that going first, usually you're kind of an opposite of this position where the person going first kind of puts it on the person going second to
It's
respond in a
because of
way, but in this case
yeah,
the player going second.
yeah,
Oh,
going
gotcha, gotcha.
second, I feel like you're at a bit of a well, the first 3 turns in Rogue in Standard right now, drawing cards and setting up for their insane play, whether it be questing or throwing buffs on a weapon. So
Mhm.
the coin is very good because of all the
Yeah,
combo
no, I
enablers.
think you're right. Just in using it for comboing and other stuff, just making a more powerful turn.
And Wild, it's
Um,
like you're insane if you want to go second. Like, there's no reason.
mhm. Yeah,
I guess Power Warrior.
I
He
think it
doesn't
actually
even point.
prefers going second in some of those matchups, but
As long as you have Ship's Cannon. If you don't have Ship's
yes,
Cannon, you really want to go first. But anyway, that's Wild. This is Standard.
yeah. So looking at game 2 for these players, this is what are we looking to see here?
This is the Anyfin. I mean, not.
It's
This is
It's
similar.
the ramp paladin.
Ramp. Sorry.
Yeah, tip the
Sorry.
scales. So the rogue has the advantage here. It's actually
Yeah.
favored because it's so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we could
Like,
just get a board out early enough to pressure the paladin before it can get some of those
I mean,
bigger cards
well,
off.
I've seen this matchup play out before. The Rogue just goes on a crusade to deface, and Paladin dies before it can play anything. Like, when you ramp the Rogue up to 10 mana with and the Rogue has Secret Passage. That's just it's almost you almost die on the spot if he has any semblance of board. Like when
Yeah,
I
and
was
it looks
playing
like
this matchup,
Myanodon, he does have the Nas Dormu here, but he doesn't have a lot of turn 10 plays to back it up after that. So
yeah. Alright, looks like he's just stabbing face. I like it. Alright, I think he does not want to oh with Nor's Domu in the
I think
skills.
you do pick it up, yeah, because you have already the Crab Rider and the turn 3 play with the other Murloc. Um, he opts for it, yeah.
Alright, I like it. Oh, the Sage pickup. That's not what you want to see after you just attacked with your stealth minion.
Yeah, bit unfortunate, but probably just develops the self-sharpening sword, yeah.
Alright, here it comes. Coin, Norse Darmu. So, with Coin Norse Darmu into tip the scales, he has to, Reason has to assume the worst here. So, he's probably just going to go all out on card draw. Like, he's going to Deadly Poison Swindle, and hope for Greyheart Sage is set up for as much damage as possible the following turn.
Yeah, and if you're
Because he
Risen
knows
here, trying to predict what Myanodon could have following this Nozdormu turn, are we thinking the worst is tip the scales, a Scrapyard Colossus maybe?
Scrapyard Colossus is definitely the worst situation because it's 14 you have to punch through, and
Mhm.
you take 14 in the process most of the time. Alright, so he didn't
Gotcha.
pick up another weapon buff. That's unfortunate because he has to cunning class for 2 now. The cunning classing for 2 is such a bad feeling. You want it to be 0, which means that, well, it's a hard situation. Sometimes you want to swing just so you can get the -1 cost on the cunning class, but if you pick up a another deadly or a nitro boost, you just miss out on damage.
Hmm.
See? Oh, he Sinister Strikes. I thought he was going to save that for the Pinflinger. But I guess he wants to play out all his mana. Wait, but he only has,
Yeah,
like,
that sacrifices 1 damage for the mana efficiency.
I guess I just want to go, like, hopefully he picked his out. He's probably playing toward his out, which is Cunning Class.
Yeah,
Oh,
Clowns
that's
looks
a
pretty good
clown.
here though.
I mean, his out, Secret Path, that's his out at this point. But
Yeah,
Carnival
because Tip
Clown,
the Scales wouldn't pull any of the he doesn't run any of the taunt Murlocs, so
Clown is such a huge pickup that puts lethal on board. Like, now Riven has to kill from in hand, and he only has 6 damage. At this point, he needs to make up 8. There's a secret passage.
yeah,
Using
so
that
we could
Sinister
have
Strike was
it trying to
correct.
find that second Sinister Strike here.
He 100% played it was out with that Sinister Strike, because I don't think he was making it if he played it besides if he was playing it this turn.
Yeah, so you just got a full commit here.
Alright, let's see if he can do 8 damage for 5 mana. You played a Pinflinger, right? There we go. You know what would be really good right now? Blade Fury. Oh, there's a trap in another secret passage. He actually might get there.
I think it's still too much. I mean, dealing 8 damage?
His out is going to be Eviscerate Sinister Strike, right?
He already played both Eviscerate, so the only thing he has left is a Sinister Strike.
So he needs to Sinister or Secret Patches and Sinister Strike while racing the timer. Animations.
I don't think he finds it.
Oh
He
no!
doesn't find it, and that's it.
I mean, there wasn't a Sinister Strike anyway. It wasn't lethal anyway, but it was close.
Yeah, I think even with the Sinister Strike, it was still a
He's off by
one-off. Or
one.
actually, if
He
you found the
tried.
prep, if you found the
Yeah, he
second
would.
prep and the second Sinister Strike, I think that would have been it. But
Oh man, down 2-0.
yeah, Myonodon with an early 2-0 lead here.
Yeah,
All he has left to play is his.
that decides it though. By the way, that means
Yeah, is that the?
Popeyes eliminates Aeon.
Oh yeah, he only needed 2 wins this week, so
Yeah, he got.
He played a third one. Just he
not
finished the
yet
series,
winning the
just so you
series,
know.
but winning the series for his team this week.
All right, we got Garrosh versus Elira, and that's a skipper in hand with a bulk. Oh, well, this worked.
I make my own luck.
I think you throw the Valor. You probably want to keep with the skipper in hand. You probably throw the shield block and the
Oh, he full
bulwark.
mulls the bulwark too.
Oh wow.
Home in the shadows.
Maybe I don't know this matchup as well as I do, but I always thought you kept skipper with. I mean, Battle Rage with skipper, but maybe you need to.
For this
You
matchup,
can't just.
all you need is Skipper Armorsmith. You want to hold off and get a big Skipper Armorsmith swing turn so that you can just survive. Once you survive and clear
So
their
you might
board,
see.
then
Do you see an ETC on 2 then, you think? Or do you say that for skipper?
we can see the ETC on 2 for sure.
You need to stem this 3-1 phase. So I don't think you hear power. Does ETC have rush? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so he could just cold play the ETC here to try and get some tempo over this 3-1.
There's no way you ETC coin broom.
Yeah, you got to save the coin here. Probably the broom too.
Yeah, you probably want to just hear. So there's probably. Oh, covering the skipper. Oh, that feels a bit early. I mean, I guess it eliminates the problem.
I guess he's trying to play into a turn 3 with a clear with a quartermaster 2, but there's no way he expects the skipper to stay up, right?
All right, so it's actually kind of awkward for a prisoner.
Well, he could just penflinger and swindle, right?
Many options.
Oh, he's got a dagger charge up one with Pendling swindle here every time. Like, you don't really care about your own face. Feel
Maybe keep the swing here. Maybe not.
maybe but like he does this to like Battle Rage is such a huge punish. Like 2 mana draw 3, you're definitely finding a Battle versus Armorsmith. You do that, right?
Yeah, but it's not like Risen had a good clear to take
Yeah.
out both
I
of
mean, you
those.
only care about the skipper because it just gives like 15 Armorsmith.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like this counter pressure though. He removed the enemy tempo while developing his own.
Hmm.
So
When you say that, that's exactly how you beat this rogue deck.
Yeah.
Now Risen is having a hard time doing it back.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's probably yeah. Yeah, especially with no weapon.
in the shadows.
He's having a really hard time.
Well, yeah,
See,
and
you
just
price
not being
point
able to
versus the
clear your
ETC.
opponent's full board at the end of this doesn't feel great.
Oh, there's an Ankar. Oh, he also Barov. It's a Barov broomstick, so he can clear the 5 damage and stealth. Oh, it's a Barov Cobalt. He values broomstick
Hmm.
more than the Cobalt. Actually, that's probably correct. Now that I'm
You
thinking
gotta rip
about
the
it.
passage here, right?
I mean, since you have Penflinger, yeah, you definitely rip the passage. So you can, because your goal is to find stealth sharpening sword.
Yeah.
He cannot be happy with this passage. Too sneaky.
Well, just finding 2 copies of 2 different cards. I mean, the secret passage really didn't give him a lot of options there, you know?
Right, there's the end card going down. Oh, he picks up a sword eater. He has a cheat minion now. And there's the self sharpening sword. All of you, he's in the game again. Let's see if he yeah, he just makes the weapon as big as possible.
Did he play the Oh, never mind, actually. Yeah, and now he's looking at what is that? 23 damage. 25, 26 damage face down.
Yeah, it's definitely enough to finish out the game. So I think he's gonna be forced to use broomstick here, unless he draws a skipper. And he draws skipper. Looks like he's gonna use broomstick anyway. Though, just to put a taunt in the way.
Yeah, because if he draws the armor smith by the next turn, the skipper armor smith mercenary to copy it might get him out of range.
Dude,
But
that Greyheart Sage, such a good pickup.
Waits you in the ashes.
And double eviscerate. Okay, so if he Penflinger Sinister Strikes here, so that's 4. He goes down to 13, and Penflinger Sinister Strikes. That's 11 from in hand at this point, with a 7 attack weapon.
yeah,
Yeah, he
so
needs armor
just with the
smith.
weapon in hand, he's facing down 18 the next turn.
Oh, this weapon work does a lot. Oh, he gets bulk work. That's huge. He didn't stay a lot. Well, is he
I
still
don't
dead
even
through
know if
bulk
Bulwark
work because of
saves him
Penflinger?
because he has so many of the penflingers. And if he
So
plays the
Penflinger,
Bulwark, he can't really clear, so.
Penflinger hit within the that's leaves an eviscerate Penflinger weapon swing. That's still lethal. Yeah, he's got lethal through bulk work. Unless he clears the 3-1.
So maybe he's playing around that Risen got exactly these 2 eviscerates.
I mean, I think he's just trying to not die to weapon. I think Risen's off by 1. Or because he Penflingers eviscerates, Penflinger eviscerate, hidden. He's off by 3. I guess he's off by 2. That's really unfortunate.
So
Really
many
good call in
options.
clearing the 3-1 though.
Yeah,
This
just
bulk.
very close here. The Bulwark might just buy him 1 turn, but, then what,
I wonder if you ever eviscerate the skipper just to remove the threat of Armor Smith, because the opponent wins with Armor Smith skipper, right? If you eviscerate the skipper, he only has Armor Smith left, and that isn't exactly getting him places.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe you
so
do,
he goes
because either
face.
way it sets up for lethal next turn, because you'd
Yeah.
swing weapon to face both times.
Actually, even with skipper, like, what's the maximum armor you can get? Like, Armor Smith, what was it? Armor Smith, that Bloodsworn Mercenary. That's gonna be 2 armor, then 4 armor, 6. 6
Hmm.
plus hero power. I don't think that does it. He needs a. You didn't get a taunt, Lackey.
Yeah, and he just can't get past 8 at this point, while Risen can push 9, so...
Yeah, he's just dead on board. Weapon of Rogue gets there.
Yeah, so Risen takes game 3 with his Rogue. Third time's the charm, I guess. Beating the ETC Warrior, which Myanodon has 2 more chances left to close out this series with.
Is ETC Warrior Priest? Or does Lucia swing that matchup?
Lucia swings the matchup
Um,
super hard.
Alright.
So the priest is
Alright,
favored.
oh, Luther.
So it's
Alright,
all about
so
the
he needs a one. Oh, he picked up the hand of it all, but he doesn't have the 1-drop. I wonder if you keep hand without the 1-drop.
You do.
I think it's
you
a full
probably do,
mulligan
just
for
because the attendant and the crab rider are just so strong on the coin.
I think you full mulligan for the warrior though. Maybe keep the sword eater, but definitely not the bloodsworn. Oh, he does. That's interesting. I would always keep. I guess he just does. That's a dust devil. Oh man. That's 6 damage. Well, he loses his turn 2. Oh, he doesn't go for it.
Coward.
Hey,
Yeah, it's just tough to commit to the Dust Devil game plan because being overloaded the next turn makes it a little bit tougher.
I mean, I guess he wants to coin out so much pride then. On 3. Like that's the reason you don't play the dust devil. Because you're definitely not playing bear off. You don't have a 4 in hand. So so this paladin really values its draw.
Yeah, the game plan here is to draw your deck, get a bunch of cheap and free Librams, and then penflinger your opponent down while making a big minion every turn.
Yeah. And that's another sign of its pride. If you're gonna draw 4 cards. Man, paladin drawing cards is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
What can you do? So Manodon's got an interesting turn. I think it's just Sword Eater, but he picked up the ETC. Like he can go in on Skipper at any time. I personally think he's gonna hold out for a Battle Rage. I guess he just wants the value now. I mean, it does prevent 6 damage. I guess he really values his life matchup, even in the early turns. I guess it's heavily warrior favored, so he's just playing safe.
The warrior is not actually heavily favored. It's slightly favored.
It's slightly favored.
Yeah, so Risen, I believe, does not run... Okay, no. Risen runs Silas. So that means this is slightly paladin favored. Usually, when the paladin doesn't run Silas, then it's slightly warrior favored. The warrior 6 down a Rattlegore, makes a few copies, and eventually either kills the paladin through the Rattlegores or ETCs their way through. The paladin can steal the Rattlegore, though, with Silas, and has ways of making ETC kind of annoying. So the ETC can still get there if they play smart. They should get there more often than not when they play smart. But in general, it's very difficult to do. So I believe the paladin is slightly favored.
Is he gonna dust double? Libra Wisdom on dust double? He does it. Dust double has
Interesting.
his time to shine.
All right, there it goes. It's 15 minutes of fame. And we'll remember it because next turn we're overlaid by 2.
Yes, it's a very noble remember. It's a very nice remembrance. It actually makes his. Oh, this devout poop pool is not going down because of that. Hmm. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. God, it feels bad sometimes.
Yeah, the overload too, by Risen on this turn is definitely impacting. I'm not sure what he's really gonna do here. Maybe just hero power pass, but
No, I think that's the worst thing you can do, right? Like, you kind of have to play out something in your hand. You want these 2 devout pupils to go down. Like,
I
it's
mean, he
never.
could throw down the Argent Braggart if anything, but
You know,
even that
like,
doesn't
okay,
feel that
so
great.
there's Broom hand, but that's his last Broom, so that's completely out of the question, I think, especially with Barrel in hand.
Yeah, you gotta save the
There's
broom here.
there's Flinger hand, but that leaves you with nothing on board, but you draw a card. There's Braggart by itself, which I think he's probably the least offensive thing he can do. It just looks bad, but everything else is just so much worse. Now that's a huge bulwark.
Yeah, and Bulwark's not fantastic in this matchup just because the pen flingers can reduce the durability so easily. Um,
Oh, he opts the shield slam. I guess you don't get much armor in this matchup, so you got to.
he does have the
I
risky
mean,
skipper armor smith though, so he could or he could accumulate quite a large amount of armor.
Paladin's
But
just scary with all the buffs they can just throw on a minion, so anything sticking, it just feels like you're gonna take a million.
yeah, even a 2/5. Wow.
Armor doesn't matter a ton in this matchup because the paladin can just chip away regardless. So either you heal constantly or you just find another way to pressure.
Gotcha.
In this case, that
Let's see
pressure is
here.
Rattlegore.
Almost want a Crab Rider Libram here. Just to get Libram out of hand and to reduce these pupils. He opts to Hero Power Libram instead, conserving that value. Alright, the Bulwark to discount the Cutting class turn. Haven't seen that one in a while. Gotta do what you gotta do. Like, a lot of this
Yeah,
matchup
so
depends.
Myonodon doesn't have a ton of draw tools to access his combo. He already has the ETC, a skipper, a broomstick. So he's got some pieces of the combo already. He still needs those 2 mercenaries, of course, but Risen is has a window of opportunity here to establish the board enough to a point where it would pressure the ETC warrior away from that draw game plan.
I really like Penflinger here. Penflinger leave room. Just to chip away at the Bulwark. God, that Bulwark. Bulwark is really annoying in this matchup, isn't it? You have these 5 attack minions that can't do anything because of it. Let's see what the he's probably just gonna take it slow, right? He wants his card
Yeah,
draw.
hero power pass. Wow.
Like 2 battle rage. He really wants to use his last skipper for a battle rage turn.
Yeah, well, with the pickup of the blessing of wisdom, it just allows him to put those pen flingers into the weapon and take it down. The durability. So
And there goes the. I wonder if you commit. You probably don't commit anything else to the board, right? You just want to maintain this because the brawl, like this is eventually gonna get there. And your opponent has 14 cards left in the deck. Alright, he opts to throw down a Devout People to force the issue here.
yeah, I'm thinking the outs by warrior at this point. The skipper doesn't really do a whole ton. Brawl doesn't do a whole ton.
I mean, what brawl could
Opts for the
reduce
brawl
one
here.
power off the board? It's 3/3 lives.
Yeah, I was thinking if he
Yeah.
didn't put down the 4/5, but
Alright, so there's 13 cards left in the Warriors deck. Paladin needs to do. Like, you basically have full combo when you have like 5 or so left. And there's 2 Battle Rages. So he's really. Like, this Warrior's really close to just winning if he has any form of card draw. Or draws into any of his card draw. So I think the Paladin needs to. I really like the pressure the Paladin is putting on. I think he really needs to keep pushing that pushing that pressure.
gotcha.
Like, I think everything needs to go face at this point. Like, you can't. You see your opponent's has a what's it called? Skipper and is the Ankar. So he's just holding out the Battle Rage. I wonder if he played the other devout people since he played one brawl, half the deck, so high chance, or not really a high chance, but there's a decent chance he doesn't have the second one.
True. Yeah. He knows that Myanodon's just been holding on to so many cards that plays it a little bit safer.
I mean, it probably assumes he has round. It's not scared, and he's not brave enough to play it because of Silas. Like, I really like going all in here. Like, just trying to like force the issue, make Mammadon have Myanodon have the answers.
Yeah, so this is looking like a real good skipper turn, but without the draw for it, I don't think you can go for it, right?
You have cutting
He
class.
probably it's gonna force to.
Yeah, but even with cutting class, you can't do the skipper combo and draw after that. So maybe
You have
just cutting
10
class,
mana.
play a little something and clear.
Yeah, so you can skipper double armor smith, and then play cutting class. That'll clear the crab rider,
That'll
which is
clear
very
the crab
dangerous.
rider, yeah.
He's just okay. So he plays the fairy ring, so he's opting not to play the skipper, but he does hard cast the cutting class. I'm not sure what else he can. I feel like that's a high risk down.
Yeah, he made this turn really awkward for himself.
14 power.
Well, yeah, you just wanted to cutting class before you did the other two things, right?
The thing is, because he only dumped 2 cards, he had to dump another card after the cutting class since nothing was playable.
Mhm.
Instead of just dumping the skipper and armor smiths, which would have allowed him to hold if he wanted to.
Uh-huh.
He definitely has to play the skipper next turn though. It's not. It's still close to lethal because of the pen flingers. I really like playing the wisdom on the weakest mid, so it dies. I mean, not the Libram on the weakest mid, so it dies. Wait, is that? No, he's off by 1. Man, that's so close to lethal.
He's off by
I mean, he's
3.
off by 3. I can't. But now he's definitely forced to skip her armorsmith here. And he picked up the battle rage, so holding off on this paid off in spades.
Yeah, this is going to be a big armor turn here. Battle Rage draws 4 here.
Or he's got 5 cards left in deck. That means he's basically at the point of he has combo.
Yeah, picking up both those mercenaries. I think he has it, right?
Mm-hmm. He just
2
needs the damage on the
mercenaries, a
board.
broom. So he's got 10 plus 5. Technically he can't, or the flingers. Okay, flingers can deal 6 damage with the 2 Librams. Librams deal 8. Librams deal 2 damage. That means that he has 5 plus 6 on board plus 8 in hand, off by 2.
Could
No,
he
wait.
ever bear off to try and get the back after a trade? Like bear off and then trade?
No, the opponents only don't have 3 attack. They only have, they don't have 2 attack. They only have 1 attack, so you have to flinger his own bear off in order to
No, but
get
bear off
that.
would set everything to 1, and then oh, but you have to attack with you're talking about attacking with both of the minions. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The issue with that is he would also
He's
give,
off by 1.
he would give my Donna.
Oh yeah, with the armor smiths up. True, yeah.
Oh, he didn't swing. Being off by 1, it just has to feel bad. Wait, does Mayanda not have it?
He doesn't because there isn't enough health on the board.
Oh yeah, there's not, the bear off actually prevented him from having it. Oh, that's a really smart play. Wait, that means that the paladin can just sit there, right? Until Ralgor gets played?
Right, and that's the issue. You play this out, drop Rattlegore. The Paladin has no way of dealing with Rattlegore outside of Silas, and then you just attack into the Rattlegore after. So
Yeah, so like Marty just said, I think this is well, that's a Libra of Hope. I don't think it's gonna do much here besides,
it's a Libra of false hope, if you ask me.
yeah. It's just gonna give a target for ETC. And so yeah, I think that's just, I think you just there's no way you're outracing a Ralgor. Alright, so what's the game like? What do you do here? You just buff up a
You just buff
okay,
up a
so
minion every turn, right? And just keep one of them up.
yeah, you just buff up a dude. Okay, so a 3/3 won't kill you, but it's like I think you need to have like, since there's 3 ETCs, you're at 25. You need at least 8 health, I think. Think that's right. Wait. Oh, he's at second broom. Okay, he can use his. This is. He's so close yet so far. Actually, can he just hero power again? Okay, but he takes 10, goes down to 14. 14 by 3.
It's a
Actually
smart
isn't dead.
it's a smart play
He's not
by
dead.
Mayan because
Oh
he
wait, did
forces
Ralgor,
so he
the Ralgor
forces
attacks for,
right. He forces
yeah, the Ralgor can attack and deal 6 extra damage.
mhm,
So,
forces
and so does the
Ryzen
brew.
to well, he forces Ryzen to Silas here. because there's no way you can leave a Rattlegore up. You know it's going to be copied next turn. And Paladin doesn't run any silences, so it has no way of dealing with the Rattlegore. That's why you have to Silas. But if you Silas,
But even when he does steal it, yeah.
then you still lose. So this is a lose-lose situation.
He just ETC flingers the ETC, double copies it, and then swings in for 12 plus 10. Right? If I'm doing my math right. So technically it's not lethal, but it's basically a game.
Yeah, it's guaranteed lethal over the next few turns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, this is the play I was telling you about, which is why Horizon kind of has to Silas, and why he can't do it either without losing.
So it's a lose-lose. Yeah.
Right. And now there's no way for
you can
Horizon to
heal-
win this.
He can heal himself up 16. Does that just delay the inevitable?
Well, yeah, with three 9/6s, you just deal 27 with that.
He just loses on the board. He doesn't even have to break through the taunts. He
Yeah.
trades one of his minions that isn't a Rattlegore, drops ETC,
Oh yeah, ETC. Oh man.
and then he
That-
loses. Oh no, because he'll be healing by 16. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But it only delays the inevitable.
All right.
Yeah,
so
because even if
let's-
he clears the 8/8s, I mean, the Rattlegores will just still be so strong, so.
he needs to play Leadrin and not that, which is not possible.
There is no elf for the Paladin here. That's going to be it for Arisen.
Yeah.
So Mionodon takes it 3-1 then,
Yeah.
after these Libram of Hopes. Well, yeah, he's going to play it out, obviously, but.
And Popeyes will be heading to the next round. Well. Yep, Risen sees it. Risen knows this game is over.
Wait, doesn't he have lethal with Blade Storm?
No. Because he'll clear his own minions.
I mean, you keep the Rattlegores alive, play ETC, and it should be just be lethal, right?
Oh. He does. Never mind. I just can't count. It is guaranteed.
Alright, so that's 3-1, Mionodon over Risen. His team takes it.
Here we have it. 3-1 Mayan. So I'm gonna just hit up Mayan and ask if he wants an interview.
So is this the
Just messaging now, and then once we get him, have him hop in.
Alright.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
congrats.
hey?
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats on the win.
Yeah. Nice big win. I was feeling comfortable after the first two games because we had already solidified the series. Thanks to my team having some close losses and some big wins. So I was I was always worried about that warrior going in the lineup. I thought he was probably going to queue the priest earlier, but I think after I got the two wins and knew just the warrior left had to win with the other two anyway. So I think at that point Risen was just like, let's just play the tougher matchups, see what we can do. Um, but yeah, I mean, worked out pretty well. Got the it was interesting mind games actually going in, because I wasn't sure if Risen was going to start the rogue. The rogue was his best class into my classes as far as like win rate. It usually beats the paladin. It's kind of even into the warrior depending on if I find the armor smith, which I didn't when we actually had that matchup. And then the rogue's even. So I was predicting that, and I almost went warrior first, but I figured my rogue also lines up pretty well, wins into the paladin and priest, and then has that 50-50. So worst case, I lose that 50-50. I only need to win 2 games. My paladin and my rogue are lined up pretty nicely into his paladin and priest, so I hopefully can get those 2. So that's why I went the rogue first.
You could put a
Yeah, well,
great
it
deal of
seemed to
thought into
work
this.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then got the win in that first one, had the weapon, which I think was key to winning that one, especially with him sort of getting the initiative early on. Yeah, and then the ramp paladin had that choice of just going in. Had to, I think, just win quickly and manage to find the taunts off the top to keep me alive and threaten the lethal there.
Yeah, that those carnival clowns off the top. I was thinking you were going to go with the tip the scales, but the clowns were just enough for the taunts on board and swinging lethal the next turn. So
Mhm. Yeah, with that 8/8 going face, it was setting up and it was keeping me safer. You can't, you only have the 2, plunders, so hard to get through all of them and swing the weapons face. So I thought that was the safer play. Definitely the tip the scales would have been pretty powerful and also set up lethal the next turn, but wouldn't have had the taunts. So
Those
mhm,
taunts were
mhm.
huge. Stopped his weapon from going face.
yeah, and then that warrior versus rogue, that third game, just could not find my armor smiths. Had to do some weird stuff early. I knew ETC was never going to be in it, something in that matchup, so I just played it early to clear a minion. Could have probably held on, but thought winning the board, and especially with the Ankar able to get the other skipper, so I wasn't worried about having one for an armor smith. I just never found it.
Yeah, the skipper on 2 was an interesting play. The game didn't go in your favor, but I think that might have been the right play anyways. Um,
You can stem that bleeding early
Yeah,
against that.
yeah, and it's just awkward. What do they do about like a 1/2 and a 1/3 on 2 mana the next turn or whatever it was, 3 mana, whatever it was? Like they just don't have easy answers, and if they use some of their answers, I'm okay with that. Um,
Oh,
yeah, just got there in the end.
yeah, you just didn't develop enough of your minions while removing theirs.
Right. I tried. I tried my best to develop the minions while removing theirs, but it turns out that the weapon is, I didn't have the weapon removal, so that just wasn't enough there.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. And good
Thank you.
luck
Thank you.
in the next round of playoffs. I believe this is going to be semifinals, right?
Yeah, I
Next week?
believe so.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it works. Aeon definitely a tough team. Good job to them, but um, I don't know who. I guess because we were the 1 seed in pink, we would play who the lowest seed remaining. I don't really know.
I can
Of
tell you
the,
if you give
I don't
me
really know.
like 2 minutes. I can double check because I have the brackets.
Or oh, perfect.
You
I assume we
guys,
probably wouldn't see for the boys until the
you
finals
guys are
based
either
on them. They
playing
were first.
Clown College or F2L. The winner of that.
Oh, so okay, there you go. So that'll be a fun one. Both some good teams there. Played against a good amount of those players. F2L were they? F2L was in our division, so yeah, I would love that rematch for sure. But Clown College also a good team. Neji doing really well today and yesterday in the Masters Tour, so probably a little distracted from pro right now, but
He actually won
I
his
mean,
pro
be
match
back at it
already.
Master
next week.
Tour is
Yeah,
just a warm up, right?
yeah,
For the
yeah,
real
yeah.
competition.
For next for next week's pro matches,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're in the lead. Could still go either way though.
Yeah. So if anyone's wondering, Neji Boston is currently 6-1 in Masters Tour.
Yeah, crushing it.
So he's up against a Chinese player that was just on stream versus Be Quiet. currently down 0-1, I believe. I don't know much more beyond that, but there's a good chance he makes it to top 16. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Wishing
Yeah, it would
him
be
the
fun to
best
see
of
him
luck.
on stream tomorrow.
Yeah, and imagine another GM in THL.
Yeah, this was a weird week for for us too, in pro, because both Nick and Wet Goose and Nightning, who's sort of our backup, just doesn't have a full collection on NA, but all three of them are at the Masters Tour too, so they had to play early, but they were still communicating with me today through the rounds a little bit to wish me luck and everything for this this matchup. I think Wet Goose is currently, I want to say, how many rounds has it been? 7, 5, and 2. He's got 2 losses, and I think Nick is one behind that. I'm not sure about Nightning, but yeah, so definitely a lot of good players in the Masters Tour from THL, which is nice to see.
Yeah, goes to show how competitive all series are. So, very exciting. Once again, congrats. And
Thank you.
I think that wraps it up for us. So tomorrow we'll have more matchups. This match for Pro was actually supposed to be played tomorrow, but I believe there are 2 matches still seeing play tomorrow. So make sure to tune in with Lotus Knight. He'll have more information on that. And then tomorrow night we have more playoff matches, so long as teams aren't eliminated early. So tune in for that. Like we said, there will be a wild match going on, or 2 of them, and I believe a standard match tomorrow night as well. Very exciting. And see you then. Till then, take care.
Yeah, see you guys tomorrow.